Hello and welcome to HTML tutorials. In this session, we are going to discuss about the HTML fonts. Fonts play a very important role in making a website more user-friendly and increasing content readability. Font face and color depends entirely on the computer and browser that is being used to view your page, but you can use HTML font tag to add style, size, and color to the text on your website. You can use a base font tag to set all of your text to the same size, face, and color. The font tag is having three attributes called size, color, and face to customize your fonts. To change any of the font attributes at any time within the web page, simply use the font tag. The text that follows will remain changed until you change with the /font tag. Change one or all of the font attributes within one font tag. But the font and base font tags are deprecated and it is supposed to be removed in a future version of HTML. So they should not be used. Rather, it is suggested to use CSS styles to manipulate your fonts. But still, for learning purpose, this chapter will explain font and base font tags in detail. Set font size. You can set content font size using size attribute. The range of accepted value is from 1, that is the smallest, to 7 is the largest. The default size of a font is 3. Let us have a look at the example for the better understanding. So here we are assigning different sizes for font. The size 1, font size 1, we are just going to print this one, and font 2 to 3 4, and we are opening a font tag here, and we are mentioning the property inside the font tag, and we are closing it here, and we are using BR tag here for the line space. Let us try this code. The code is ready in the text editor and I'm saving this. So here in the body we opened a font tag and we mentioned the size inside the font, and we close it here, and we are using a BR tag for the line space, and we applied all the available 7 sizes of the font. So let us try to run this in Chrome, and that will give you the result like this. This is the font 1 size, this is a font 2, font 3, font 4, font 5, font 6, and font 7. Font 7 is the largest, but the default one is size 3. If you don't mention any size here, you will get the size 3. That's the default value. And next one is relative font size. You can specify how many sizes larger or how many sizes smaller than the preset font size should be. You can specify it like font size is equal to plus n, or font size is equal to minus n. Let us put this in an example. So this is a code. In this code, font size is equal to -1 and font size is equal to +1, +2, +3, +4. Let's try this code in the text editor and execute it in the web browser. In this code, you can see that gradually by every line the size is incrementing. And I'm saving this and running in Chrome. So yes, there is a -1 font size, there is a +1 font size, a +2, +3, and +4. In this example, the -1 means the -1 size to the default size. What is the default size? Default size is 3. So in the first line, we are assigning a value that is a -1 to the default value. So you will get a true size. This is like true size. And then we are adding +1 to the default size. That means it's a 4 size font. And then we are adding 2. That means 3 plus 2. This is 5. And we are adding 3. That means 3 plus 3. That means it's a 6 size font. And we are adding 3 plus 4. That is 7. That's the biggest font. You can't add more because the biggest font available is size 7. And the next option is setting font face. We can set font face using the face attribute, but be aware that if the user viewing the page doesn't have the font installed, they will not be able to see it. Instead, user will see the default font face applicable to the user's computer. Let us have a look at the example that explains the font face. Yes, here in the body, open the font tag and the face is Times New Roman and size is 5. And we have one more line here. The face is Verdana. The face is Comic Sans MS. The face is Wild West. And we have one more font face that is Bedrock. So this is the code of that explains different font faces. So we are having like 5 different font faces here. I'm saving, and we are using a BR to get the line space here. And let's try. And we got all the different kinds of fonts that we wrote here. And this is how we mention the font face in HTML coding. And the next option is specify alternate font faces. A visitor will only be able to see your font if they have that font installed in their computer. So it is possible to specify 2 or more font faces for the alternative by listing the font face names separated by comma like this. If you mention the Arial, they don't have Arial installed in their computer, then the browser will render this font Helvetica. And you can mention more than 2 font faces. See, in this example, it mentioned 3 different kinds of font faces. 2 of them are alternative for the first one. Lucida Calligraphy is the primary font. If they don't have this, then browser will check for the Comic Sans MS. If not, it will redirect to the Lucida console. So this is always suggested to specify an alternative font faces to avoid the loading problem. And our next topic is setting font color. We can set any font color we like using color attribute. You can specify the color that you want by either the color name or hexadecimal code for the color, like this. In this example, you can see that like we have like a two different like font lines here. The first font line has a hexadecimal code, and second one has a color name here. Let us try this program. So here is the code. The first color is hash FF00FF, and the second color is red. I'm saving this and running in Chrome. Yes, the first one is in pink and the second text is in red. That's what we wrote here. Yeah, this is how you assign colors to the font. And the next option is the base font element. The base font element is supposed to set a default font size, color, and typeface for any part of the document that are not otherwise contained within a font tag. You can use the font elements to override the base font settings. This base font tag also takes color, size, and face attributes, and it will support relative font settings by giving a size a value of +1 for a size larger or -2 for two sizes smaller. And yeah, it might be confusing for you when I explain it like this. I think it is better to go with an example. Have a look at this. In this example, you can see that the base font face is mentioned like Arial or Regina or sans serif. Size is 2 and the color is mentioned here. So this is a page default font. And the next one is H2, example of base font element slash, like we're closing the heading there, and I'll explain you what is this NLT and NGT. I'll tell you that this is to provide this greater than and less than symbols, like the braces around this particular word. When we see this in the browser, you will understand it better. And we have a font size +2 here, and color is dark gray, and we have a font face Courier here, and size is -1. The color is. Let us execute this program in a browser and see how it looks like. Yeah, this is a code in the text editor, and I'm going to save this and run this. Yes. So this is the result. Let us compare the result with the code here. The base font is Arial. This is the Arial font, and size is 2, and the color is this. And the next one is color dark gray, and the font size is +2. That is mean the default font size is 3, and +2 means it's a size 5 font, and it's a. And the last one is Courier with a -1, that is 2 size font. And the very important thing, one more tag I want to mention here, like this tag and LT and NGT is to provide these brackets here, because if you write strictly brackets in a code, that will be considered as a tag. So you are not allowed to use those brackets in the code. So to print them in the browser, you need to use NLT for the opening bracket and NRT for the close bracket. So this is the way to work with the HTML fonts, font faces, colors, and sizes. That's all about the HTML fonts. That's it for the day. Thank you very much. See you in the next session. Until then, bye bye.